Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well on this fine Thursday, July 25th, 2024. The birds just decided to get crazy as soon as I push record. They got something to say today. Well, every day, right? But it was like a concert just now. Yes, so it's July 25th, 2024. The week is almost over, which is crazy. I hope that it's been a good one for you and that you're getting ready to do something fun this weekend. That would be nice. And don't forget to take advantage. The summer soul sale is still on and popping, but it sure won't last for long because summer is moving faster than probably will realize by the time August hits. It's all downhill from there out. Let's say uphill, because I actually anticipate, really having some fun in August, which I don't even know why I'm saying this now because I didn't plan to, but a heads up is that I may be less present during the month of August. Probably not completely away, but I think I'm going to take August to more or less kind of just, kind of be on vacay mode, but not completely vanish at the same time. So you may not see me here every single day, Monday through Saturday. I may pop up here and there as I feel guided. I'm also feeling the nudge to do some shorts of different downloads that I get, ever so often, to really kind of transmit those into shorts. So I may show up in that way as well. But either way, the Summer Soul Sale is still available to you for all of August and even stretch through September until we hit that fall equinox. And that's 11 questions and also personal prayers composed for 2222. So take advantage. I'm telling you, after this season, perhaps even after this year, you're going to wish you had taken advantage of this time, of which I am so openly available to all of your spiritual service needs. Well, not all of them, but to be open at all is, to be honest with you, something special, because as you may or may not have observed, I don't do personal readings. I don't anymore. I don't offer myself up in that way. So this is the way that I wanted to be of service in a way that I felt would be fair to me energetically, and that would also be a benefit to subscribers that have been rocking with me for this past year, which is what I initiated the celebration, the sale for. It was the celebration of 1 year of this channel. So in any event, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing, and telling a friend, whatever it is that you do. I appreciate your presence. And if you like more information about the sale, it's in the description box below. All right, so let's see what we got here today. Hey, strength card. Like it. Strength card. Definitely Leo energy, big Leo energy. Balancing your primal and spiritual nature, knowing which energy to pull from at what time, sometimes in tandem, oftentimes I suppose in tandem. Courage, confidence, boldness, fearlessness, protection, and prestige. As we know, Leo is that royal energy, king of the jungle, queen of the jungle, the sun, all of that type of frequency, like very elite. Yeah, elite energy. Then we got the Four of Cups, though. So somebody is either rejecting their own power or denying, let's see, what they denying. Oh, somebody else's. It's like somebody's in denial, oh man, that a cycle is over. Damn, it's like it's hitting them like a ton of bricks. It's like somebody they want to deny it, but there's way too much evidence. We got the Queen of Pentacles. That's a materialization of exactly what I'm saying. Royalty, prestige, power, authority, stability, even a implication of balance when we're talking about the Queen of Pentacles. And then the World card, what's ended? Oh, well, it's not the end. It's perhaps the beginning or a new cycle of balance that's on the horizon, and somebody is sick about it. Somebody does not want to accept that. They may be used to when someone was weak and vulnerable and codependent and needy, and or at least they may have seen someone in that way. Let's say that. Yeah, it's probably more so that, because there's a denial here. So it's given that somebody had thought they had somebody pegged. This is a masculine energy here, and then these strong feminine forces. They thought they had somebody pegged, or more or less like didn't really expect much. What's the right word? Like, pegged is the word, but it's like they only had a certain level of advancement projected for someone. Like, they didn't really expect much of them. Maybe didn't think they were very strong or very self-controlled. Didn't think that they had the capacity, at least, to be self-sufficient, let alone prosperous, wealthy even, and also empowered in some level of position, or and grounded at the same time, because both of these cards give that, like somebody that holds a high powered position, even if it's within their own being. But however advanced they are, they're still level-headed, level-minded, and integral. It's not somebody that had gained a lot of money and is like out of control, like only catering to their material needs and just spending wildly. And I mean, I guess you could do that, I'm not judging, but I'm just speaking of in terms of what I'm sensing is someone's surprise, like to the point where they don't want to, they're in denial about it. Like, there's just no way. Maybe they just didn't have the expectation for a woman in general. It could be more general than that, or universal, but to keep it specific, to the story, and then you can allow it to fit where your ear can hear. Somebody just didn't expect much of this feminine energy, and lo and behold, here she is. And here's the World card, which is, the end of a cycle, a great, victorious, and successful completion at that. Look, now here's the Queen of Swords. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody had no idea. Oh, and the Justice. Oh my goodness. They had no idea, but they just didn't know no better, apparently. Because with the Justice here, it was already like, this is fair game. Somebody was slated for this. They worked for this. It's not like somebody was given anything. Even if we're talking about the feminine energy generally, the feminine force has not been given anything, especially not in the lifetime that I'm aware of. It's been a bit of a struggle in every decade, on every level, just of this century alone, for the feminine force just to be respected and appreciated for what she truly does bring to the table, which is life, creation, you know. So this is not favoritism or some type of even nepotism I'm hearing, you know, from any universal perspective. That this is the energy that's been, first and foremost, there must have been some corruption in the first place. If we're looking at the Justice card, that there's some correction, as I said, that need to occur on account of what has been imbalanced, what has been unfair, perhaps just wrong altogether, and that it's also been earned. You know, perhaps the Temperance, it's not here, but when I was looking at the Strength card, I was hearing Temperance in my mind, especially when you're talking about self-control and balancing your primal nature and your spiritual nature. There is a call for temperance there that is just like, you know, assumed, I would say. So to have to temper your propensity to react and respond in a primal sense, where you would almost be justified to be angered, to aggression, you know, for that lion, that beast, to be released from his cage and just tear shit up. You know, like, you're not gonna give me my justice, I'm gonna take it. That's not what happened. There was self-control exercised here, patience, perhaps. Again, when the primal needs and desires may not have been fully met, it's the implication that someone was able to transcend into a spiritual fulfillment, you know. And in that case, that's something that ultimately, it's intangible, but it also is more highly protected than the elements of the physical realm, you know, where you can manipulate someone's ability to make money or to advance in a male-dominated society or in a male-dominated occupation, role, whatever, to have prestige and honor, just being, you know, the woman that you are outside of business. But I'm calling it as, you know, as for it to potentially be like business or corporation because of the Queen of Pentacles. So but she's also a nurturer in the home. So it could even be the imbalance that occurs at home, particularly with the feminine energy in many ways, and particularly in certain cultures, having to take the lead, you know, in her femininity, having to overcompensate for the lack of masculine support, i.e. the single mom who has to work 2 and 3 jobs to create a stable environment for her offspring, to create a balanced home life, you know, for her children, to sustain their well-being for the purposes of projecting them into a positive future. And here it is, look what he's doing here with the Four of Cups, rejecting love, being unavailable for intimacy, not even able to really love himself. So it could be a range of things from a very personal or general perspective to a more universal one, especially with the World card and the Justice here. But all in all, it's like the feminine force has earned her position. There's nothing given here. And it feels like the ending of the cycle is the resilience that needed to, that ultimately was attained and maintained, sustained, I guess I should say, in order to get through such a tough cycle, whatever the time frame actually was, with less than reasonable resources at hand to do so. Because that was the imbalance, is that she shouldn't have had to do that in a lot of ways. There was a corruption here, a disruption, something was knocked out of alignment. And so the feminine energy had to do a lot with a little in many cases. Yet and still did it well enough that there is honor, prestige, accolades, reward, and recognition here in that regard by way of the World card, that whatever was accomplished, it was done to the satisfactory of the universe. Of course, individually and collectively, and however that fits for you personally, if you're a feminine that can relate. But the justice served here is now harmony and balance, maybe homes being restored, to regain that equilibrium that's been missing for so long. You know, divine unions coming online, coming into connection, reconnection for maybe partnerships that have been disparaged. And also on the personal level, it may just be feminine energy being balanced in her contentment all on her own, if that's what the choice is. But whatever the case is, there's a victory here, a peace and harmony, a great accomplishment, and also that is indicated with the World card. Maybe even something that's closed out, that you closed out from last season. When I'm thinking about home, thinking about Cancer season, which we're just coming out of, and there could have been something really major that was settled with the Justice card last season that was up in the air, you know, in limbo or in deliberation about your advancement in some way. And whatever it is, it feels like it's been settled, because here's the Fool card going into the Queen of Swords, and her back is turned on this small offer, as good as it may be. She's more open and welcome to the, like, I mean, and for all intents and purposes, oh wait, there's something behind that. Oh, the King of Swords, the King of Wands. So it's like, if this is the best you got to offer, yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's like she may be open to all that I said about new partnerships or advancing a partnership as it is, if it makes sense and if it's in alignment with the new beginning that she's been afforded and awarded at this point. But if it's still looking a little small, a little breadcrumby, she ain't with that. Her back is turned to that. It's like what should be an attractive offer, as the King of Wands is attractive. It doesn't seem like it's too It's not too tempting beyond her logic and reason of what is in faithful alignment for all that she's already worked for. It's like, you know, somebody coming along now at this point, and it could be a matter of all that is missing for a feminine energy is a partner. You know, she's pretty much done everything needed to do on her own, secured the household, made the money, taken care of her own mental health and well-being, you know, or built her own strength, her own self-esteem by her own merits, closed cycles of karma, toxicity, or just of stress and struggle, perhaps, with the World card. Stayed fair and honorable and just in all her endeavors, and somehow found a way to avoid, to avoid and reject offers that were not in her best favor. Let's say that, because that's what this giving me now with the Four of Cups. Now she's in a position where she's open to entertain some other things because it's a new beginning, maybe less stress off her back. It's not as much of an upheaval now. Now, like I said, she can enjoy the fruits of her labor, can be open-hearted. Well, this is more so open-minded with the Queen of Swords, but open-minded to new things, maybe even new people. But if it's not going to be, you're going to offer the Queen of Pentacles the Page. Even with the King of Wands being as fine as he is, if that's the best he has to give, she may objectively decide that she could do better elsewhere or otherwise, even if that means by herself. So that's the strength and power of the woman that's evolved over this time of struggle and strive, you know, where it could have been a great upheaval and a great feat to overcome the imbalance of, you know, the masculine support system, or the void of a masculine support system in place. But what it ultimately did is strengthen her to handle, you know, it's like she can flex now because her muscles have been conditioned to handle more and to tolerate much less. You know, like back in the day, you felt like you needed to be married or needed a partnership for codependency's sake. We certainly know that that's not the case anymore. It doesn't make it any less valuable, like partnership in its highest frequency, for sure, even more valuable than some may even realize or again want to admit, you know. But certainly the conditions are different now, especially having done a lot on your own anyway, where if we're back in the day, you might have endured certain unfavorable circumstances for the sake of keeping a home together. Maybe that was the closing. Now it's like, if I did it before by myself and I came out all right, I'd rather, as they say, do bad by myself, but I like to say do good all by myself, than sacrifice my peace of mind, my well-being, my stability, security in any form, just purely for the sake of saying I have someone to share it with. What good is it if we're sharing a burden and not a blessing anyway, you know? So yeah, so that's that. And I feel like that's a pretty empowered place to be, especially when you're not teetering on the opposite end of the scale of like, you just don't need no man, don't want no man, and can't no man do nothing for me, which is not holistically true, because a good man is quite valuable. But it comes from a place of scorn or hurt or a lack of healing, maybe even unforgiveness. That's a different frequency than kind of being right there in the middle, where it's like, yeah, even as the Queen of Swords is, she's open. She's open to try something new or to be new or to have a new experience, but is it a good one? That's all. Like, is it worth my time and energy? You know, is it in alignment with my integrity and in agreement with my purpose? Does it make sense? Hell, does it make dollars? You know, also, or what, you know, is it prosperous ultimately, is what it comes down to. So I know this is going to be crooked. Every time I try to do this lineup like this, it's weird. All right, so let's see what else we got. Oops, we got the Two of Swords. Here's that crossroad moment. Maybe of consideration or, again, deliberation. This is interesting. Deliberation is what I'm hearing most. Maybe not having all of the facts and figures and evidence of what is being considered. Let's see what's on the bottom. Oh, this could also be a block. Could be a block. Being, yeah. So it's saying that sometimes the reason for this apprehension or this indifference could actually be for your own protection. And in this case, it seems like it actually is with the Five of Swords, because this is an energy that means no good, Five of Swords, to nobody. This could even be a masculine energy that is jealous of their feminine object of affection or even their feminine partner because of their advancement or the disparity in their progress. And that doesn't even have to, because you could be with a man that is rich and somehow still is jealous or envious of your self-esteem, you know, or envious of your intelligence, your personal security, or even feels a bit displaced because you're so independent and secure that they don't have leverage to more or less exercise control, you know, like to be able to say, oh, you need me, and that be the point that they can dominate from, you know, or impose their authority. That goes in alignment with what I said, which is the turn of the age where it's just not, women are just more reasonable about their independence now. It's before it was a bit toxic. I mean, it still can veer into that depending on who you ask, right? But I'm talking about, like, generally speaking, like the creative consciousness that is elevated, which this is the indication of up here. Not talking about like people that don't know no better. I'm talking about those that know better and do better. They're not as submitted to the toxic consciousness of resisting the masculine energy, or even denouncing it or offending it. What's the word I'm trying to use? Like rejecting, but something more aggressive than that. You know, like, I guess attacking, but I don't know. There's a word I'm trying to find here where it's like a man can't do nothing for you. That's not the energy that most higher frequency, what's the high value feminines operate from. Many actually value their partnerships, especially in the highest vibration, or are looking forward to partnership that is balanced and harmonious. They're just not willing to take anything less. So for energies that mean to be less, that is a threat, and almost like a threat and an offense. Yeah, like almost that. I think that's what I was trying to find. Like they're not offensive to the masculine energy, something like that. Yeah, they take offense naturally, but only because they are accustomed to finding value in the old paradigm of partnership, where they can only be validated through what they can control, possess, or dominate, but ain't nobody, the Two of Swords is not having that. She may look like she may look like a damsel in distress that needs saving, but in truth, it's just indifference, because it's like I don't have nothing against you, sir, at the Five of Swords, but I'm just not interested. If that's the energy that you're in, I'm cool, like I'd rather wait, or I'd rather have nothing at all, but I'm not gonna settle for something that could be threatening to everything that I've acquired and established for myself. That's great. Now that's a I am woman, hear me roar type of energy. That's not offensive. It's just assertive and affirmative. Yeah. And any decent man, at least, but certainly a good man, a divine masculine, would be attracted to that frequency, not turned off by it. You would be attracted to have a strong woman that is secure in her own right, maybe even has her own money, or definitely knows how to manage a household, or manage and multiply, for that case, material affairs, nurture your household, your children, which is invaluable, quite honestly, for someone that can take care of home and make sure that everything is stable there. Literally, to have somewhere safe and sound to come to retire to at the end of the day is priceless. So yeah, what's the Bible say? He who finds a wife finds a good thing. It works the other way around, I feel, even though it's not said, but he or she, whatever, who finds a husband finds a good thing, for sure. But a husband just ain't a warm body in the bed, or somebody that brings home the bacon either. Like the title of wife is a prestigious honor. The title of husband is what do you call it? A valiant position, So somebody said blasphemy. Relax. All right, not Four of anything other than the Four of Wands up top. It's the Six of Swords. Yeah, it's like moving on to peaceful and calm waters. Leaving turbulent times behind. Hallelujah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Perhaps leaving the times when you had to figure it all out on your own, and you had no support, no help, no relief, no sounding board, no partner to run ideas by, to consider the possibilities with, to strategize with. Hell, just to vent about your day, or to plan for the future. A lot of that pressure is being relieved for those that are in the market for it. again, whether it's within partnership or whether it is on your own, there's a relief here in this crossover moment, this transition with the Six of Swords. And that's also, I think, like reconciliation. So it could, like I said, it could be reconciling the parts of you that had to be self-sacrificed in order to take care of home, like how a woman takes care of everybody else and she gets the scraps, usually. That's the cycle that perhaps is being closed so that she gets to be just as catered to, just as pampered as everyone else. And that's the best way, because when, you know, happy wife, happy life, as they say. When mama's happy, everybody's happy. Three of Pentacles. Crossing over, this could be work. Or like it could, like I said, it could be, as I said, everybody else. You know, it could be a couple things. It could be two support system with Three of Pentacles, like having more than enough. You know, this is like a couple here, but then this is like an elevated or ascended. Yeah, I'm seeing this more spiritual today, like almost an ascended influence, you know, because he's like standing up on a bench here. And it's like they're almost, sorry about the trash truck. It's almost like they're reviewing some plans, you know, so it's like now it could be the crossover point is, again, having that connection and that strength and stability, yeah, with the Four of Wands, and also being in submission to the supreme essence of your partnership, which would be unto the divine, right, more or less, that would help you build that union and expand it, not having to do it by yourself anymore. And perhaps these are the plans that ultimately become the landscape of whatever you're crossing over into. And you being able to work much smarter than harder now, because you got some help. You got good contractors, you have, you know, amazing architectural plans. Your general contractor is trustworthy and skilled, you know, honest, knows what he's doing, knows how to advise you. It's like building a house, right? This is great. Building a house or a home, and you know all the things that you want to have. Sorry, y'all. All the things that you want to have in that home. Like you got your whole list, building it from the ground up, right? Your bi-level closet, your spa bathroom, your gourmet kitchen, the specs of the finished basement, your theater, like everything that you want. You know what it is that you want, but it's the contractor that or the architect and the contractor that can help to really lay that foundation and lay, you know, do all of the legwork to make sure that your vision comes to life. Because all you know is that unless you're going DIY or you know you have this skill yourself, all you know is the specs of what you desire to have. But it takes someone with the skill and expertise to actually help bring it to life, bring it to fruition, manifest that ideal, you know. So it's something here about that here where you got the plans, you know what you want. And now you're getting someone to kind of like go in on, you know, to really contribute to those plans in a way that would probably enhance them in the greatest, by the, you know, in the best case scenario. and then having the overhead support to bring it to life now, so that it's no longer a fantasy or an ideal. It's a reality. It's crystallized and materialized into something that you actually live in, you know, every day. And that doesn't have to be limited to a house. That could be business plans or ideas. You know, it could be some type of progressive vision for the future and your legacy and you know, generational wealth and so on and so forth. Whatever it is, it's prime time for building, or it will be soon. You know, maybe it's something that's in transition where that's where you're on your way to, but it seems inevitable at this point, especially coming after the World card. That's what's in this new season for you. What's that? King of Wands again. King of Wands said, wait for me. I want in on this. Well, you gonna put in the work, King of Wands? Yeah. But here's the Eight of Pentacles. And it's like the work is pleasureful. Is that all right? Pleasurable. Pleasing. Is your pleasure. This is not hard labor, even though this card is toil and labor. Damn, I can't get this to, there we go. It's not, it's rewarding work. You know, like there's something that you get out of whatever it is that you are focused on, whatever you are devoted to. Maybe the relationship itself, maybe the home, maybe the business, maybe a job. Maybe somebody's getting a new job in the new season that they really, really, really like, you know, because this is with the Eight of Pentacles. It's like you would do that for free if you had to, you know, like it's no sweat off your back. You enjoy going to work every day. You love what you do. You love the people that you work with. You love what you're accomplishing, you know, like the greater good that your work is contributing to, maybe even creating. It's most times a very high vibrational card. And it's also prosperous because whatever it is that you're dedicated to, it has a great return. It's not, you don't have to do it for free, but you would. And the fact that you actually gain a great deal of reward on account of what you would do for free makes it that much better. You know, like what more could you ask for in terms of work, right? Oh, look at this, the Sun and the Tower. And then what's that peeking out at me? I think that's the Four of Swords. Oh, wow, that's the Five of Pentacles. And then the Emperor with his feet hanging out here. Why his feet, Lord? That's funny. Oh, somebody needs to get on their feet or is having a hard time getting on their feet. But see, what the Emperor is representing is that male dominating force that insists on flexing his presence and importance in ways that are no longer productive, maybe that were never productive. And that is what's being blown out of the frame here with the Tower card to make way for what is more prosperous, what works, what really does work. Not these codependent, toxic connections. Yeah, like this is what it leads to, the Five of Pentacles. And they both need to get on their feet, it seems to me. but it's interesting that it is the Emperor. Is that that I guess, let's say, toxic masculine force that is finding that it doesn't really have like a footing anymore, like a place to stand, a firm foundation to build upon. Because like I said, you can be as egotistical and macho as you want to be. It doesn't take long to realize that the feminine force is still of great value to you. You know, even if you drank your own Kool-Aid to believe your projections that she wasn't, you know, that she was only good for this or good for that, you know, some limited contribution or value, you realize that that's not true, especially when all the good ones are taken or unavailable because they're not with it, you know, and then you are left to kind of to fish the dating pool as it is, or you know, like to kind of take your chance with all the so-called plenty of fishes in the sea, right? You realize that there may be plenty of fish, but they're not all, you know, they're not all fresh. Let's just say that, you know, they're not all fresh. Yeah, so it's something about that, like having to come to terms with what hasn't been working, and also being faced with a great challenge and charge to transform, I would even say, because the Tower definitely calls for readjustment. And depending on your willingness to do that, whether you are actually an Emperor or a masculine in that mentality, or even a feminine that submits to that mindset, you know, where you even allow yourself to be treated as less than what you deserve, and you're still submitted to some principles that are not holistically satisfying for you, you'll find quite quickly that it no longer has a secure, it's no longer secure to be in that place. It's either going to cause great mental anguish, you'll see your material security dissipate in some way, money will take a hit, you won't be able to really advance your efforts as a unit or individually the way that you would like to, you know, like all sorts of things fall apart when there's not a firm foundation. So yeah, it ain't gonna take much to kind of know, you know, it's like really like building a house on sand, you know, but or on a cliff and expecting it to last forever. It's just, it's not likely. Not without somebody incurring a great cost or becoming a great casualty, one or the other, if not both. Oh, that rolled over. That rolled over upside down. Interesting. Let's see what's on the bottom. Oh, okay. Well, this could just be more of, it's like the end of the best way I could ever see this card in reverse, especially with the Ten of Cups. It gives me, it feels like it gives me liberty to take this perspective, is the end of being single. You know, again, at the end of feeling like you gotta handle it all on your own. This is overturned in reverse, where someone may or may not be codependent or dependent on a relationship, but certainly they're not they're not obscured to their own solitude anymore. You know, they're not having to balance all things, and you know, I already said all of that. And here it is with the Nine of Pentacles, and it's not like the Nine of Pentacles in the upright is a great card. I love that card, and it's a pronunciation of being single and self-sufficient and secure, and not just materially prosperous, but there's an implication of spiritual prosperity there that materializes in a physical form. So this is like maybe perhaps someone having done all they could have done on their own, as I said from the very beginning, and now it's just time to have this family unit. But I love that it's not even just the Ten of Pentacles, which is material as well. It's like someone would be okay with submission, you know, especially on account of coming from a life of singlehood or solitude or whatever. They'd be well to do it for the Ten of Cups, because this is fulfillment on all accounts, happiness, balance, well-being, the children are good. And it's the implication that in this frequency, you can make money. You probably already are, which is why you're so happy, you know. So that's a great transition. I love that. This is awesome. And maybe where you've been, I still feel like, you know, being a bit with the Two of Swords, being indifferent to it is still a healthy perspective to have, simply because it's not like you are so lustful for partnership or yearning for it so much that it's what makes you dependent and makes you unstable and insecure and all of those other things. Like you can't be nothing without a partner or without a husband or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. It's just that you could be with it, you could be without it, you know your value on your own, and so therefore you could submit to that value into a partnership that is healthy. Like that's amazing. This is good stuff, man. Crossing over from this heartbreak. That's what's being left behind. Toxic connections, trauma, struggle love, even fear of love, fear of being vulnerable, of intimacy is what I'm sensing. That's what's being left. From what and from who? These tyrannical partners that just want to possess and control. And it also gives that this is what you're leaving behind is those energies being heartbroken, ultimately realizing what they've lost on account of their insistence to have it, maybe even have you their way or the highway. And you said, okay, well, I'll take the boat. Fuck them roads. I'll swim if I have to, but I ain't staying here. No way. No sir, no ma'am. That is funny. Oh man, that's hilarious. One more. And when they realize that, yeah, ooh, child. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Lover's card. And I was just about to say, like, when they realize what they have ultimately pushed out to shore, you know, or offshore, whatever it is, whichever way the saying makes sense. they are going to be devastated, if not already, because some people respond to devastation, especially when we're talking about any particular distorted masculine energy that could be like a distorted emperor, you know, to somebody that's just possessed by, well, I should say more so obsessed by the idea of power and control. Some don't really know how to process their emotions in that form because they're not really used to feeling them, let alone surrendering to them. But when you have no choice but to be, you know, to accept and acknowledge what you're feeling, it's going to be a real heartbreaker for some folks. Just to know that all they had to do was just change a little bit, you know, to just be open-minded to do something a little different, and they could have not only kept a great woman, a great man, a great partner, but they also could have had the potential to grow it into something that could be even more beneficial to the both of them. It's like masculine energies that are obsessed with control in relationships don't realize that they're really stifling themselves. Like they're limiting themselves, because if you're limiting your partner from being their absolute best and flourishing and thriving in the way that they would naturally, then you're not having the whole of that person. You're just having a snippet, a piece. Because most times that's all they want to offer and give, and that's all, you know, they feel comfortable. It's like they want to be able to keep it in small portions so they can control as much of it as they possibly can, especially when it means that they might actually have to grow to match up if they were allow you to flourish, you know. And it's real sad, because then you keep the two of you from advancing in this beautiful way that the lovers does to some ascended level of love that is fulfilling for both. Even if it's a little scary to get there, you could never have anything more fulfilling than the lovers, two people that are committed to themselves at their best, that are secure within themselves, that are that feel a certain, you know, like a certain level of commitment. I was going to say obligation, but it's not that. It's more so commitment and devotion to your partner being their best self and securing that at all costs. And then again, you both being in submission to the divine and whatever the overarching plan and purpose is for you individually and as a unit. That goes back to that 3 of Pentacles card that I was saying, you know, where the architect or the contractor is helping you build the house. That's some divine partnership for you that money can't buy. Ain't no trophy wife from here to LA able to fulfill just on looks alone. You know, like it's deeper than that. Ain't enough money in a man's pocket to make you happy if they're not willing to be valiant in that way, in that position. Like, you'd be miserable. And here's a Magician, manifestation, materializing love. Yay! Yes, it's the emergence of the King of Cups, who is emotionally intelligent, available, sensitive, compassionate, willing to be submissive to intimacy, you know, not afraid of it. Certainly, they may not always exactly say all that they feel, but they're not afraid to feel their feelings per se, is ideally, you know, the best King of Cups. Yeah, but hell, with the Magician, it could mean that the Magician has the sword. The magician has the sword. The magician has access to all of the elements. So it could be someone that ultimately is, that is, I won't say, what's the right word? I don't know, like I would say alchemical in their spiritual nature and their love. Like they could be every man, like every woman. They could shapeshift or transform into whatever type of love. Here it is. They're fluent in multiple love languages. I like that. That's simple. That's what that gives me with the magician. It's like however they need to cater to their partner in a day or, in a season, in a moment, in a circumstance, they can step into that role effectively, especially when it's for the preservation and the prosperity of the partnership and for the partner themselves. I like that. I like that ideal here. That's a good man. That's a good man. Someone that knows how to love, is not afraid to receive it, and knows how to activate and assert their love in a way that is prosperous with the magician card here. That is productive. Yeah. I like that. Productive and on all accounts in every season. That means no matter what the weather, the love is sustainable, and not just sustainable, but like I said, it's like it's love that can like stand the test of time is what I'm feeling. You can, maybe the love that we shared in year 1 to 2 is different than what we share from 3 to 5, but it's still valuable. It still produces something good for the both of us. And that could be masculine or feminine energy, but being the masculine force with the King of Cups is being intentional toward that productivity, not just being passive and expecting to receive all of that goodness, but not putting any work or effort toward it. Is two people, masculine or feminine, that are committed and devoted to asserting themselves to that realization. I hope that makes sense. They're not just expecting it to happen with no work. They know that it's like all hands on deck to make sure that everybody is well taken care of, including themselves. Yeah, I love it. All right. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.